Much think for the rest of the year, next year, more all-time highs, normal upward climb of the market. I think what's been interesting from this summer has really been the rotation within the market. So clearly these mega cap tech companies are doing very, very well, incredible earnings.
And we agree there with JPMorgans chief strategist Gabriela Santos on the fact that the markets are going to climb higher. Now, there may be some trials and tribulations in them doing that. However, right now, I'm seeing a lot of top callers in regards to the cryptocurrency space, and I simply don't think that's the case. Certainly not as it relates to the broader markets, and we've looked at this with you guys every time going all the way back to 1981, and we could probably go way further back, that the market has sold off to the magnitude of 20% plus, talking about the S&P 500 here, and engulfed it. It's actually gone on to higher ground and saw a succession of higher highs. That would align with what Gabriela is talking about. Certainly the theory that Mike Wilson has put forward. So we think the broader markets are in good standing, and that's going to help us analyze or throw our kind of hat in the ring, if you will, in regards to has Bitcoin, has crypto topped? We don't think the broader markets have, or there's kind of peril ahead of them. That gives the cryptocurrency space the cover to continue persevering forward. Not only do we have a lot of technical targets for Bitcoin, for the total market caps, for individual cryptos, for crypto ETPs, for Bitcoin dominance coming down, which can only happen in a flourishing environment, for the IWM versus the S&P 500. I do believe I've shown you guys that. It sort of also signals in the same way that BTC DOM rolling signals a good time sort of for risk generally. So does the IWM versus the SPY. I actually think this is going to break out of a falling wedge, and you're going to see small caps outperform large caps for a period. That's typical of a kind of risk-on environment. So there's lots of factors that lead me to believe that this market is set for continuation. And we've been very right thus far, and I believe we're going to continue to be right. We could always be wrong, but I think the probability, certainly based on everything that we're technically looking at, fundamentally what's going on, certainly when you talk about the crypto space, the stage is set for what Gabriela was talking about there, and that's continued highs. And if you just look at a kind of naked Bitcoin chart, I have no real inkling in regards to how people are calling tops here. This does not look like a topping formation such as this one does to me, or the one that BTC dominance has just gone through. Remember, we've been looking at BTC dominance rolling. We've been very right on that. We think it's coming down to about 55%, and then on a broader downtrend, this is now what we assess as phase 4. We don't see a kind of phase 3 top for the cryptocurrency markets. Could it turn into one? Yes, but we think based on where we're at right now, the people calling for tops in the crypto markets and markets more broadly, I don't see that really at all. And actually something interesting that's taking place, just to pivot into, is what we're seeing with silver and gold. So gold is literally on the cusp of making our big target that we gave you guys all the way down here. Subscribe to this channel if you're not already. We definitely feel we've got a great understanding of technical analysis and how to kind of compile it to paint a picture. The picture that we're painting for you guys is an important one, certainly at a time when there's frustration with the crypto markets, there's kind of fatigue, which is understandable. But actually, if you look at the positions certainly I hold, we've done very well in regards to getting into the markets. Hopefully you should all have benefited from that also. You know, something like 400+% up on XRP in a couple of years is not a bad investment return. And ultimately, you know, we think there's far more to come. But gold is potentially on the shorter time frame setting up for continuation. We have been highlighting this. And that's going to get you into the big cup and handle target. And silver's also making a move. And silver actually will outperform gold, I believe. Silver and gold ratio we're not going to get into. But you know, silver, I believe, is going to around about $600 an ounce. And the interesting thing is there's context to crypto in this. What's the environment for silver and gold to be doing that? Well, it's one that probably comes on the back end of the dollar not doing too well, which I absolutely have merit for. I think the dollar, from a strength point of view, not a world reserve currency point of view, is going to roll out, is already rolling out of this sort of pattern it's been in since 2008. And this is a general environment that sees silver and gold do well, but also the likes of what we're expecting for the S&P and, of course, Bitcoin. So there's a lot of things going on. Not only just technically are we bullish on this, there's a lot of reasons to be bullish on markets generally and not bearish on them. When it comes to the cryptocurrency space and the markets more broadly, we have said this, August is always going to be a choppy month. It's typically a negative month, so is September. You have to deal with that. Everybody's coming up with these flamboyant reasons as to why the markets are selling off. It's as simple to me as the seasonality that affects markets, that plagues markets, goes right the way back to when markets were mainly agricultural. And August, September are just those months. And we have to get through them, and I do believe we will. And whilst we're having this kind of retail top calling, look at what your Ethereum ETFs are doing. They just go on to continuously smash highs after highs after highs. It says Ethereum ETFs are about to are on an absolute tear. They've taken in nearly $10 billion since the start of July. That's crazy. Here's what their flows look like since the launch, nearly 14 billion today. Also in regards to CME, futures for crypto, this really seems to be ramping up. CME Group exec highlights strengthening our professional ecosystems around Ether and XRP futures record in August. This is extremely interesting. Some stats that the individual said stood out to him included year-to-date average daily volume for full crypto derivatives suite is 230,000 contracts, up 158% year over year. Year-to-date average open interest, the number of contracts held by the market participants at the end of the trading day is 243,000. That's up 80% year on year. And the crypto futures lineup for the first time reached 30 billion in both notional volume traded and open interest, led by BTC and Ethereum. The 985 large option interest holders for crypto futures on August 11 marked a new record. This is interesting because we're seeing clear maturity of this industry, and ultimately really there we're looking at it as an asset class, but there's also the maturity of it as a technology. And I did this on my Patreon. If you look at technologies and the wealth shift that they induce, the people that are kind of early to that are the beneficiaries of it. And that's always been what we've tried to sort of put forward in regards to the cryptocurrency space. And the journey it's on in the kind of investment opportunity, although this is not financial advice, I believe it offers. Of course, make your own assessment of that. But Bitcoin, for me, there's no top here. You've got the total cryptocurrency market caps, certainly the total two. I mean, this is just on the cusp of breaking out into new all-time highs. This is not the time to be bearish. The reason why the market is doing what it's doing, it's not all due to all these nonsensical reasons. It's literally just the seasonality. And markets typically perform like this. August very much acting like August does. It is, however, the best quarter, Q3, that Ethereum has ever had. Again, has everything to do with what you're seeing in regards to those flows that we just looked at. September's typically not such a great month either. October, November are typically the best. So we've got some great times ahead of us. Generally, we think the markets are in good standing. It's good for us to get out. Certainly when you start to see top callers, that's potentially the beginning of a change. But we're here to tell you guys everything is A-OK. Market's just suffering a normal pullback with the altcoin sector. People always have got a bit of a goldfish memory. You know, they get the harsh pullback. It then rallies and engulfs the pullback and goes on. And then they kind of forget what the pullbacks are like. They get another one. And it's just a rinse and repeat cycle. Crypto is volatile. It is for everyone to invest in. Some people, though, perhaps handle it better than others. That's the nature of life. And we certainly propagate and steer everybody away from trading leverage in crypto. I've watched the best people I know technically fail miserably at it. And also have kind of seen through the woods, if you will, in regards to people promoting it, certainly with referral links. And ultimately that referral link gives them fees so that when you get liquidated, they profit. I think it's not a very genuine thing to do or good thing to do, in my opinion. So that's it from me. We think the markets are in good standing, guys. We've cited a number of reasons. We have way more. We just want to get these updates out there, cover the latest and greatest, what's happening in the news. We've been doing that all week. Bit lackluster today. Of course, it's Saturday. We want to give you more of a general market overview. So there you go, guys. I'm going to love and leave you all. Thanks for watching. See you soon.